Welcome back to Sunrise today, where we're checking with different groups, segments, sessions today to get updates about this presidential task force to bring down food prices. Well, yesterday it was also widely reported how manufacturers, the local players, value chain players as well, also talking about considering how they may just further hike prices of commodities. Well, remember, the government didn't set up that task force to see how they could bring down food prices. We're joined this morning by Wale Oyekoya, who is the chairman, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industries Agric Sector. He's also a farmer. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you. Well, the task force has since met. They're exploring ways to see how they can identify what are the key challenges. They spoke about transportation, poor infrastructure, taxation, among some of the items they think are the factors responsible for this hike in food prices. You may also have heard about that. What do you think?
Well, I think their fact-finding wasn't really going well with the farmers, because transportation is the least of the problem that farmers are facing. Most of these problems identified have been there for long, more than 10 years. But what has really been done? It's nothing has been really been done. I think what I have just to say is that the other time I said the panel was purely constituted because the people in the panels were not really the people concerned, the think tanks of agriculture or the real farmers. But coming out with the finding that through the transportation, through the railway, but you have to understand that most of the infrastructure from the rural farmers are not even good for anything to talk about transportations. Because when you talk of railway, you still have to bring your goods from the farm to the town.
So what do you need to tackle this problem?
What we need to do is to increase our production, number one, and the only way you can do that is to release farmland for people. And not only that, you have to support with funding. A lot of people are not getting funded to go into this thing. And you remember the other time I said that with the kind of recession we have today, the government really need to release money to curb the recession and improve on our industrialization. And when you talk of industrialization, it's through agriculture. A lot of youths are over there. They're angry, they're hungry, just like every other Nigerians. But the way to go about it is to deal with the people that are really concerned, the stakeholders in the farming. And until the government can believe that they are servants to the people, we keep on having this problem. And this is why I said that most of the policies they'll be having is not for really
Now, this is what the government says, that they've identified transportation and preservation as two broad problems that is causing the rise in prices of food items. That's on the one hand. On the second hand, you are saying that that's not the problem. So if we have to juxtapose between the two, how do we begin to assess how well the government's identified criteria for the reasons of prices increase? How do we begin to position that such that perhaps we begin to notice a reduction in the prices of items? As you know, Gary is still high, is going higher. Tomato is still high, is still going higher. So if they are using the railway system to distribute according to the government, just so that the prices will go down, how do we approach this now that the prices are still going up?
You can only transport what is produced. We are talking of production here. What are you going to transport when the production is not there? I read in the newspaper they said Nigeria is the second largest producer of rice, and we're still buying rice at 20,000 in the market, where the common people cannot even afford to buy this rice. Now tell me, where is the production? Yes, it is true what they are saying. Transportation is one of the problems, but I said that is the list of the problems that farmers are facing today. Look at all this kind of kidnapping you are just talking about. My farm is involved. My farm is around the talking Ekpe. A lot of people are scared to go into the farming. If I'm scared to go into my farm, how am I going to produce? What am I going to transport into the community? Talking about Gary, you are talking about, they have turned Nigeria to be a dumping ground. It was in the news media, the social media, how Gary from India is being sold in Nigeria now. How did it get into the country? We are talking of a foreign result that is being, yes, Gary from India. It's in the supermarkets.
No, it cannot.
Yes, it is. It is all over the news. How did the NAFDAC or the regulatory bodies allow Gary from India to get into the country? I will show you the whole thing. We went to the supermarket, we saw it.
And
it's from the India.
NAFDAC numbers?
It has no, some of them does not even have NAFDAC number. How did it get into the country? And we are trying to support the local producers.
You know what? Let's do this. Take us through the process. I mean, what is it? What processes do farmers go through? and let's see if we could identify the challenges that exist at each stage and then tackle it.
See, we gave the new government, I can't even call them a new government, it's about 2 years to the government. We gave them a roadmap how to go about agri before Obasanjo even come out with our roadmap, because Obasanjo is known in the agri sector in this country. We gave them the roadmap for that. Very easy. You have to release your conditions, giving out the lands to people to farm. The governors are still in charge of releasing lands to the populace, especially for the farmer, which is, well, that's why I said that we need to revisit the Land Use Act of 1978. You have to go through the governor, and before a governor can give you a land for farming, it's a hell of trouble with no title. That's number one. Number two, provide free seed. There's nothing difficult to provide seed. This does not even cost up to ₦1 billion. After seed, give them fertilizer, not the useless fertilizer that the government are selling to people. Some of them have been mixed with sand. By the time farmers use this, it affects their crops. Number three, where is our research and development? Most of the seed we are using today, like the corn we are planting today, are not researched or are not even suitable for our own climate. We are still depending on the other countries' input to be planted in Nigeria. That's number three. Number four, funding. You can't go to any commercial banks now and get a low interest loan from the commercial. They don't even know what agriculture is. That's number four. Number five, what about the policy that the government keep on releasing? It's not suitable for any right-thinking person to do business in Nigeria. We are doing business with hardship.
Which of the policies now?
There are so many policies, like they keep on ban and unban some of these food items. There was a time the customer just go, okay, let the rice be coming through the land border. Then when they saw that it's not the one, then they close it again. And there are so many policies, like the monetary policy that we keep on talking about. You keep on giving the money for people to import this thing, and when you keep on releasing money for people to import, definitely it's going to affect the local production, and it's depleting the little reserve that we have. So most of the local farmers are not really encouraged. Look at the security we are talking about. If the security is not there, nobody will go and fight. It's not only in Lagos alone. If you go to most of the parts of the eastern part, even the northern part, so the whole country is not safe. So nothing is really working. Let us be honest with ourselves.
Okay, well, much as we know that, yes, security is a challenge, but not that the whole country is not safe. Well, we understand what you're trying to say anyway. But we'll be back in a moment. Join us again.